Urgent appeal for support. Leslyn Richmond's life-saving surgery. Leslyn Richmond, a 39-year-old mother of 8, is in desperate need of assistance to raise nearly $6 million for a critical surgery following her diagnosis of a brain aneurysm. Sadly, Leslyn is already believed to be blind in one eye, and this delicate procedure is not available at the Georgetown Public Hospital, necessitating private care. Leslyn's youngest child is just 8 years old, making this situation even more urgent as she strives to secure her health and support her family. The estimated amount needed does not include additional costs for post-operative care. If you are able to assist Leslyn and her family, please reach out to them at telephone +5 926 10 5429. Any contribution, no matter how small, can make a significant difference in her fight for recovery. Thank you for your support. Fatal collision claims life of 62-year-old man. Guyana Chronicle. A tragic accident on Tuesday night resulted in the death of Suraj Bali Sipersad, a 62-year-old man formerly of Bath Settlement. The collision occurred around 10 p.m. on the Bath Public Road, involving an electric scooter and a minibus. The minibus, with registration number bag 6537, was driven by Bacon Budhu, a 36-year-old resident of Lot 104 No. 2 Settlement, Blairmont, West Bank, Burbis. According to police reports, the minibus was traveling east on the northern side of the road, while Sipersad was riding his electric scooter west on the southern side. In a sudden maneuver, he turned north into the path of the oncoming minibus. As a result, the front right side of the minibus collided with Sipersad, causing him to fall onto the roadway and sustain serious injuries. Public-spirited citizens quickly intervened, transporting him to the Fort Wellington Public Hospital for medical attention. Despite the efforts of medical staff, Sipersad tragically succumbed to head and other injuries while receiving care. Police conducted a breathalyzer test on Budhu, which revealed no alcohol in his system. However, he has been detained for questioning as part of the ongoing investigation into the collision. 5 injured in shooting and chopping incident at Linden 5 Corner. News source Guyana. A violent altercation early this morning at the 5 Corner Junction in Mackenzie, Linden, has left 5 individuals injured, prompting a police investigation and a search for multiple suspects. According to police reports, the incident occurred shortly after 6 a.m. when 2 groups became involved in a confrontation. During the altercation, at least 3 individuals drew firearms and discharged multiple shots, resulting in injuries to several persons. The injured have been identified as Rondell Rodney, 27, of 1 Mile, Vismar; Tyrone Newton, 21, of Half Mile, Vismar; Brian Johnson, 25, of Half Mile, Vismar; Glaston Bristol, of Redwood Crescent, Mackenzie; a 17-year-old boy from Vismar. Brian Johnson sustained a stab wound to the right eye, while Glaston Bristol suffered a chop to the head and was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital for treatment. Police suspect Bristol may have been one of the individuals who opened fire during the altercation. 2 additional suspects, known as Joby and Shaquille Lambert, also called Shaq, are believed to have discharged firearms and have yet to be apprehended. The Guyana Police Force reported that gunshot residue swabs were collected from the hands of all injured parties. Evidence recovered from the scene includes 7 9mm spent shell casings, 2 9mm live rounds, and 1 warhead. It is noteworthy that earlier this month, 2 of the injured men, Brian Johnson and Rondell Rodney, were arrested following the discovery of an unlicensed weapon and ammunition at Curia Curia in Essequibo. The investigation into this morning's incident is ongoing. Police constable injured following argument with girlfriend. Quindon News. A 22-year-old police constable, identified as Laron Henry, attached to the Ruimveldt Police Station's Marine Department, reportedly injured himself following an argument with his girlfriend on Friday night at the Christmas Village on Main Street. The incident occurred around 10:10 p.m., during which Henry and his girlfriend, Denise Williams, a woman special constable trained at the police academy, were socializing and consuming stag beers. According to Williams, a phone call from a woman named Vanny prompted a heated argument after the caller warned her to stay away from Henry. In the midst of the argument, Henry allegedly withdrew a knife and attempted to slit his own throat. Quick action by public-spirited citizens in the area prevented him from inflicting serious harm. An ambulance was called, and he was transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital for treatment. Reports indicate that Henry was heavily under the influence of alcohol at the time and displayed disorderly behavior, including several additional attempts to harm himself. Police observed multiple abrasions on his neck and 3 injuries on his right hand. His condition is currently stable, and he is being monitored by a corporal from the Marine Department at the hospital. As a precautionary measure, Denise Williams was escorted to the police academy by Woman Inspector Beckles. Several witnesses were questioned, and they confirmed that Henry inflicted the injuries on himself. The investigation into the matter is ongoing. Tragic bee attack claims life of 79-year-old pensioner. Guyana Times. In a tragic incident on Christmas Eve, Roy Scott Rover, a 79-year-old pensioner, lost his life after being attacked by a swarm of bees while tending to his garden. According to family members, Scott Rover was cutting a tree in his yard when he inadvertently disturbed a bee nest, prompting an aggressive response from the insects. He was last seen on the evening of December 24th, and when family members noticed his absence, a search was initiated. Scott Rover was discovered lying semi-conscious in his yard, surrounded by dead bees. He was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, where he tragically succumbed to his injuries on Christmas morning. Relatives described Scott Rover as a kind and loving individual, expressing their devastation over the circumstances surrounding his death. He served as the caretaker of the property, looking after it for its owners who reside overseas. This incident follows another similar tragedy less than 2 months prior. On November 1st, Imran Ali, a 70-year-old pensioner from Novar village, also lost his life after being attacked by bees while clearing land. Ali and his employee, Dalu Husher, disturbed a bee nest, leading to a severe attack. Despite attempts to assist, the swarm made rescue efforts impossible, and Ali was pronounced dead upon arrival at the Mahayakoni Cottage Hospital. These incidents highlight the dangers posed by aggressive bee species and the importance of caution when working in areas where nests may be present. Attorney General Nandlall announces termination of contracts and imposition of liquidated damages. During a year-end press conference on Saturday, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlall, SC, revealed that the government has taken decisive action against contractors for breaches of contract, resulting in the termination of dozens of contracts and the imposition of over $4 billion in liquidated damages. Nandlall stated, dozens of contracts have been terminated, highlighting the government's commitment to ensuring accountability and quality in public works. The introduction of liquidated damages serves as a penalty for contractual breaches, which may include poor workmanship and unjustified delays. Liquidated damages are intended to provide a specified sum to be paid in the event of a breach, ensuring that contractors adhere to their obligations. Since the government adopted a stricter approach earlier this year, the enforcement of these penalties has significantly increased. In a related meeting held at State House in November, President Dr. Irfan Ali expressed his dissatisfaction with contractors and government employees whose failures have hindered project execution nationwide. He emphasized that any projects due for completion by the end of the year, or those delayed by 4 months without a valid extension, would face termination. All the projects that were supposed to be completed by the end of this year, or 4 months beyond the completion date, with no justifiable extension, will be sent to the tender board and terminated, the president declared during the live broadcast. The government anticipates recovering approximately $3 billion for overdue projects through the application of liquidated damages. This initiative reflects the government's dedication to maintaining high standards in public service delivery and ensuring that projects are completed efficiently and effectively. State appeals $22.5 million judgment in unlawful killing of Quinton Bacchus. Guyana Chronicle. The state has officially filed an appeal against a $22.5 million judgment awarded in the unlawful killing case of Quinton Bacchus, who was fatally shot by a police constable in Haslington, East Coast Demerara, in June 2022. The appeal follows a ruling made last month by Justice Nigel Niles, in which the state accepted liability for Bacchus's death. During the Ministry of Legal Affairs year-end press conference, Solicitor General Nigel Hawke confirmed the state's dissatisfaction with the ruling, stating, "We felt that the judge went over where he was supposed to go in relation to the evidence. We think that matter is worthy of an appeal." Hawke emphasized that while the state accepted liability in the case, the issue at hand pertains to the quantum of damages awarded. He noted that the judgment imposed a large amount of compensation that the state believes warrants review by a higher court. Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlall, SC, elaborated on the state's decision not to contest liability, explaining, "We felt that the police officers were wrong, and there was a finding to that effect by the Police Complaints Authority." He further mentioned that the Director of Public Prosecutions recommended criminal charges against the officers involved. Nandlall stated, "Compensation has to be assessed on the basis of what is pleaded. The judge can't go outside of that. and we felt that the judge entered the arena and granted reliefs that were not before him. He underscored the potential implications of leaving the decision unchallenged, citing the doctrine of precedent and the risk of leading to further incorrect judgments. Lance Corporal Christophe de Nobrega is currently facing a murder charge related to Bacchus's death, while two other officers, Lance Corporal Thurston Simon and Cadet Officer Damian McLennan, are charged with attempting to obstruct justice. De Nobrega is awaiting trial at the Demerara High Court. Quinton Bas was shot on June 10, 2022, during a police operation. According to police reports, Bacchus was in possession of an illegal firearm and attempted to sell it to an undercover officer. The exchange escalated when Bacchus allegedly fired at the officers, prompting a return of fire that resulted in his fatal injuries. An autopsy confirmed that Bacchus died from multiple gunshot wounds while receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter dies at age 100. Former United States President Jimmy Carter, who played a pivotal role in the restoration of democracy in Guyana in 1992, has passed away at the age of 100. The Carter Center, the organization he founded, confirmed his death on Sunday. Carter, who served as the 39th president from 1977 to 1981, faced numerous economic and diplomatic challenges during his time in office. Despite leaving the White House with low approval ratings, he later restored his reputation through extensive humanitarian efforts, which culminated in receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1982, Carter and his wife, Leslyn, established the Carter Center, which has since focused on advancing democracy by monitoring foreign elections and addressing health issues in developing nations. The center's impactful work has made significant contributions globally. Jimmy Carter was not only notable for his presidency but also for his remarkable longevity as the longest-living president in U.S. history. He enjoyed a historic marriage of 77 years with Leslyn, who passed away in November. Carter's legacy includes a commitment to peace, democracy, and humanitarian efforts that have left an indelible mark on the world. His contributions to the promotion of democracy in Guyana remain a significant part of his international legacy.